Hey guys, so in today's video I'm going to be playing Teamfight Tactics. If you've been on the stream recently, you know that I've caught the TFT bug and I've loved playing it. Sorry to everyone who loves to see me playing Fortnite, but you know, having fun with TFT. In the video you see me run two different games of me running light. One I run really badly and one I run really well. So the basis for when I hyper roll light is that I play with the 3 low cost units and Yasuo early game. Because I like to build into the cloud buff and possibly the mystic buff that you get with Soraka by using Janna late game. So with this, there's 3 low tier units. They are Jax, Narcissus, and Vayne. Obviously Vayne's a good one to make your back row carry, as she does all the most damage and is the last to die. So in this bit of the video, I've actually got those 4 already silver. So I normally hyper roll for the low cost, but I didn't have many gold and I re-rolled a bit because I was stupid. And I actually managed to get them silver, so I got really lucky. That meant I could re-roll later on for the higher tier units in Aatrox, Soraka, and Yorick. So as we get to the Wolves, I've managed to pick up Aatrox, Soraka, and Yorick, all in bronze, and I actually get super lucky from the Wolves. I managed to pair off my Feast Gloves by getting my second Gauntlet and make a Rage Blade to put on Vayne just to top her up that much more. So already sitting on a cloak, as we get to the carousel, I somehow, thank my lucky stars, managed to get my hands on a spatula. I'm still not really sure how I got away with it, but I did, which meant I could turn my Yasuo using the Talisman of Light into a light, and that gives me 7 units running the light buff, and Yasuo was also going to be able to pair up late game. So at this point, everything was going to plan. I actually lost the next 2 rounds after I turned my Yasuo into a light, so I knew I had to level to avoid losing any more health. With the chickens only giving me a rod and quite a bit of coin, I decided to push the level, put Janna on, giving me that Cloud Mystic buff as well, making sure my team were harder to hit and took less damage. Just before the round ends, I managed to get my Yorick silver and decided to put a Hextech Gunblade on him, which would be better suited to Aatrox, but he had the gloves on, and yeah, it worked out. The build starts to come together really well. I faced top and beat them quite convincingly with quite a few champs left over. And I actually managed to get my hands on a Zed, which is a great unit to turn into a light. He carries quite well, and with his summons, I opened the opportunity for a summoner's buff, and it just works really, really well. So we had great items on the build. We'd managed to get our hands on a spatula and a cloak to make a Talisman of Light. I didn't think my luck could get any better, and then this happens.
Yeah, bronze. Had some better items.
Top 4.
Yeah, what? Yeah, what? What are you talking about?
Oh my god,
Jeez.
really?
Guess who I've been saving for this exact thing?
Zed.
And this is where Zed comes into play and making him a light unit. I was feeling pretty confident. Despite the build going well and managing to knock out a few of my competitors, there was one build that was still giving me a lot of trouble. So I knew the build wasn't quite done yet, and to make it work, I was gonna have to try and get even luckier. I managed to save up enough gold to level, get Janna on, who I'd originally taken off to put Zed on. So now I have 8 lights, the Cloud Mystic buff, everything was looking better. So I managed to get myself top 2. Kylie was still in with his Woodland Druid team with Assassins that was giving me a lot of trouble. So yeah, I was actually struggling and it wasn't looking great. But do you remember when I said I needed to get even more lucky?
Oh my god, light! No, you're gonna kill.
Oh my god!
Second.
Fuck! Janna's a light! 9 lights, motherfucker! That's 3 lights!
No, he didn't.
Even so, with all these buffs and the team working out pretty much as best I could imagine, it still wasn't enough to beat Kylie's team. And that's when I got even luckier.
Can't even refresh or anything.
Man, that Jax was
That's a
going
Cloud
ham
Lux.
that round.
Cloud Luxo.
Yeah, but it wouldn't do it, would it? I can't buy it. If I buy it,
You'd have to sell your Zed.
do I
and
make
throw her,
Lux the Cloud instead of Zed? But then he's so good.
Yes, yes, yes.
Literally by the skin of my teeth, I managed to get Lux in on time and get a full cloud buff. And it turns the tide of the fight in my favor. Now, this Rabadon's death cap caused a lot of shouting in Discord as to who I should have put it on.
When you look at somebody's
Oh,
spell,
you should have the down a second. Shut up! Everyone's fucking shouting at me!
I ended up putting it on Lux. Let me know in the comments below if you think that was the right choice or if I should have put it on someone else. Remember when I said I need to get even luckier? Imagine getting a silver Lux with your last 7 coins. But in an attempt to make my Lux live longer, I switched her with my Soraka, which somehow turned the tide of the fight completely against me. And with no HP remaining, that means I'm out. And that is how you lose with a 9 light buff and a full cloud buff. So in this game, it takes place the day after the one we just watched. It was the first game I'd run light since that game, and I was determined to do it better. I actually managed to get a silver Janna really early on. The only champ I was struggling with to get silver was Aatrox. With this Janna, she had a chain vest on her. And knowing how OP Zed is with Guardian's Angel and Redemption on him, I made the tough choice to sell her. And this is where items can really buff out your champs, because this Zed carried me hard. I managed to go on a 9-game winning streak, eventually losing and realizing this is the point where I need to buff my team up. Realizing Zed would have been much better off than Yasuo as the light, and with a Master Yi in my shop, I made the choice to level, make Zed the light by selling my Yasuo, buy the Master Yi to keep the Mystic buff with Janna, and placing the Bloodthirster on Master Yi, who is an already amazing unit. Somehow that risk on Zed managed to pay off, and I got even luckier by 2 Zeds appearing in my shop at the same time, meaning I could get him silver. What I didn't realize at the time is that my Janna was actually useless, because the Master Yi was giving the Mystic buff with Soraka, and Janna was just sort of dead weight. Then something unbelievable happened. I don't know what I've done to appease the RNG gods over the past few days, but a light Lux turns up in my shop. And well, you can see it. I lose it. Then, thinking that is as good as my luck can get, you won't believe what I might get from this beetle looking chap. Give me a lie, am I fucking?
Oh my god.
Holy shit!
Oh my.
I put that talisman on Master Yi, making him a light, making him even more OP. And then, thank the Lords, got an Annie in my shop, which meant I could take Aatrox off as I was over the light buff and get the Summoner's buff, making the Zeds, Yoriks, and now Tibbers even more powerful. So this goes to show just how much you can learn about running one build just from looking at one game compared to another. I really strengthened up the light build, I feel, made it a lot more secured, so I'm going to be a lot more confident next time I run it. If you guys enjoyed this video, let me know in the comments down below. If you didn't, sorry. I'm really liking TFT at the moment. I'm streaming it a lot over at twitch.tv/xWoodzy. Feel free to come over there and give me a follow or subscribe here on YouTube. There's going to be a lot more videos coming over the next few weeks, especially because from the 17th of December, I won't be streaming on Twitch for 2.5 weeks. I'll be back in the UK for Christmas. Taking a break. I'm a bad person. But anyway, I will be there until then and long after that when I get back in January 4th. So until next time, chaps and ladies.